Good evening, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you very much for being here tonight. Councilmember Erickson is running a little bit late, but he will join us soon, we hope. And our city clerk is going to start with our land acknowledgement.
Thank you, Mayor. The West Hollywood City Council acknowledges that the land on which we gather and that is currently known as the City of West Hollywood is the occupied, unceded, seized territory of the Gabrielino Tongva and Gabrielino Quiche peoples.
Thank you. We are now called to order, and we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I believe Nicole Filatova is here to lead us in the pledge. Thank you, Nicole.
Hello everyone, my name is Nicole Filatova. I'm 10 years old. I go to the School of West Hollywood Elementary School, and I'm in 5th grade, Mr. Norris class, and I'll be doing the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic of which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You're going to be running this meeting pretty soon, I can tell. Hang on, we have something for you as well. But before we do that, we need to have a roll call. City Clerk?
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Byers.
Here.
As noted, Councilmember Erickson is running late. Councilmember Meister.
Here.
Vice Mayor Hang.
Here.
Mayor Heilman.
Here.
And we have a quorum.
All right, and City Attorney, can we have a report on the closed session?
Yes, good evening. The City Council convened a closed session at 5:30 this evening to discuss the one item of business listed on the posted agenda and took no reportable action. The closed session concluded at 5:40 p.m. That concludes my report.
Thank you. We'll now turn to the approval of the agenda. Are there any changes from staff?
Thank you, Mayor. No, there are no changes from staff this evening.
I believe that we got
We did get a memo on the co-sponsorship item, which is
F1.
F1. There was a change to the recommendation from staff because the entity asking for the sponsorship does not know what the date is, so it's just asking for council to approve co-sponsoring, and staff will come back with a date.
Okay, is everyone clear on that? Everyone understands that change? Mm-hmm. Great. Are there other changes that we want to make to the agenda? With that change, can we move F1 to the consent calendar? Mm-hmm. Yes. I hear no objection. Is there a desire to add anything else to the
F3?
F3?
I would like to keep that.
Okay, we'll keep that. How about E1 to consent? No objection. We'll move E1 and F1 to consent, and that will leave F2 and F3 on our unfinished business, or new business rather. Okay, if there are no other changes to the agenda, I'd entertain a motion to approve. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor of the agenda? There we go. It is approved. Thank you, everyone. We now have an agenda. Are there any Levine Act disclosures tonight? There are none. All right. Are there any adjournment motions tonight? Councilmember Meister.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to adjourn this meeting tonight in memory of Eve Cummings, sister of resident Brian Holt, who was known for her big heart, generous spirit, and deep compassion for others. A lifelong animal lover, she especially loved riding horses and rescuing cats in need. She also owned a popular comic book store in San Diego and was among the world-famous Comic-Con's original vendors. Eve loved visiting West Hollywood and spending time here with her brother Brian and his husband, Dr. Stephen Vincina. She thought West Hollywood was a pretty special place. She is survived by her husband Dave, her siblings Ann, Steve, and Brian, and her children Rebecca and Travis. She will be greatly missed by her family and all those who knew and loved her. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. I would request as well that we adjourn in memory of Gloria Fierce. Gloria Ruth Fierce passed away last month at the age of 95. She was born in the Bronx in 1930. She was a dedicated educator who spent her life teaching across the country and supporting diverse learners as a special education teacher. She became deeply involved in civic life, cultural institutions, and labor organizing through the United Teachers Los Angeles. Gloria is survived by her children, including Jody Litvak, a member of the City of West Hollywood's Transportation and Mobility Commission. She's also survived by her grandchildren and her sister, and will be remembered as a loving family member and an advocate for justice and education. May her memory be a blessing. So we'll adjourn in memory of those two individuals. We'll now turn to a variety of presentations that we have tonight. And I believe that we have a presentation tonight for our the young woman who led us in the Pledge of Allegiance, if I can find it here. And if I can ask Nicole to come up. We are presenting you with a certificate of recognition in leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and we value all of your engagement and dedication. Our next recognition tonight is for Dominic Vito Masi. Dominic is West Hollywood's cowboy at the 2026 International Gay Rodeo Association at the World Final stage. He has earned his first champion belt buckle and the #1 seed in ranch saddle bronc riding, all in his rookie season. His achievements honor the inclusive legacy of the LGBT rodeo, and he brings positive recognition to West Hollywood, reflecting our commitment to diversity, sportsmanship, and visibility, and you certainly have the look. Let's all please join me in congratulating Dominic for his contribution.
Hello. Awesome. So sorry for facing the other way, but I do want to thank some people. So I just want to thank so much to the council and to the mayor for giving me this recognition. It means so much. I want to say thank you to all of my friends and family that came to support me. My mom drove up all the way from San Diego, which was really nice. I don't need to tell anybody in here how much the LGBT community means to West Hollywood, and I'm just so thankful that I've been embraced so much and so positively for this accomplishment. I mainly want to use my time to tell all of you how you can get involved in the International Day Rodeo. We are very lucky here in Southern California. We have a regional that takes place in May in Palm Springs every year. So that's where I started just a couple months ago. You'll see me there. You're going to see my family there. I hope I see some of the council there. It's going to be really fun. And the Day Rodeo isn't something that you should read about or watch videos of. I really hope that you come out and experience it in person. Thank you so much.
We have a special event coming up, Women's Equality Day here in the city of West Hollywood. This day was designated by Congress in 1971. It's observed each year on August 26th, and it commemorates the 1920 certification of the 19th Amendment that allowed women to vote in this country. And that was after a 72-year struggle for suffrage. This year's observance recognized the 101st anniversary of the Equal Rights Amendment's introduction. To honor this history, the City of West Hollywood and the Women's Advisory Board will host a Women's Equality Day town hall on August 26th, featuring speakers, a panel discussion, voter resources, and various opportunities for civic engagement. The city remains committed to women's equality, and I want to make sure that we all recognize it, and I want to invite all of the members of the Women's Leadership Council to come forward, the Women's Advisory Board, sorry, to come forward, and I want to ask my colleagues to come down as well. Please join me in congratulating our Women's Advisory Board on the program that they're going to put on.
Hi, I'm Angela De Silva, and I'm very excited to serve as chair again for the Women's Advisory Board. And I thank you, City Council, for continuing to amplify the voices of women and for supporting all the work that our Women's Advisory Board does. The city sets the standard nationwide with their values around diversity and inclusion, and right now especially, it is even more important to continue fighting not only for further equality for women, but also for getting back the rights that we have already lost. So I want to give a little bit of a history lesson that most people might know. So in 1789, property-owning white males could vote. 1856, all white men. 1870, black men. 1920, white women. And 1965, all women. So just a little backstory to know where we came from and what we now potentially have to lose with the SAVE Act, which is saying that people's names must match their birth certificate, which would make it harder for married women and people who have taken their partner's last name. This would affect 69 million women. So we have our event. Thank you, Mayor Hellman for speaking about it. Because our events, well, it's more of a town hall. We want to continue to promote advocacy and learning, but we also need to have action now. So this special event will have special guest speakers, panel discussion, question and answers, voter education and resources, ways to get involved, advocacy, equity, and voting organizations. And we always partner with the most amazing organizations that are doing amazing work nationwide, statewide. So our guest speakers will be from the California Women's Law Center, the Women's March Foundation, For Women, formerly the National Council of Jewish Women Los Angeles, California League of Women Voters, Women in Film, Close the Gap, Pasadena League of Women Voters, the ACLU of Northern California, and the League of Women Voters of Greater Los Angeles. So we are so excited to continue to spread the amazing work that West Hollywood does statewide and nationwide. So thank you, and I hope you all can come.
Thank you all. So the next proclamation is for Ours in the USA. Each month I donate my mayoral salary to a local nonprofit, and this month I have chosen to support Ours in the USA. Ours in the USA is a human rights and service nonprofit organization founded by Russian-speaking immigrants in the United States. Its target is to serve Russian-speaking LGBTQ individuals in the United States, and it is the largest Russian-speaking LGBTQ plus nonprofit in the United States. Its mission is to create a safe and supportive space for LGBTQ plus individuals who have left their home countries in search of freedom and safety, helping them adapt, embrace their identity, and feel the power of community unity. I would like to commend Ours in the USA for its incredible service, its advocacy, and its leadership on behalf of Russian-speaking immigrants from the LGBT community. And I'd ask Dimitri and the members of Ours to come forward, and we can all join in congratulating them for their work.
So, thank you so much. Good evening, Mayor Heilman, members of the City Council, and everywhere here tonight. My name is Dmitry Tur, and I am the President of the Board of Directors Ours in the USA. On behalf of our Board of Directors, our volunteers, and the entry community we serve, I want to sincerely thank the City of West Hollywood for this proclamation, for recognizing our work, and for Mayor Heilman, our generous gift to our organization. Mayor Heilman, our gratitude to you is personal. You helped found the city in 1984, and for 4 decades you have stood beside those who need a champion. You created the city's Russian-speaking advisory board, provides education, so that Russian-speaking residents would have a voice in the city they call home. From the very beginning, you have supported our community in every way possible, and we do not forget it. Our Since USA began as a community created by Russian-speaking LGBTQI+ immigrants who came to this country in search of very simple things. The freedom to be themselves, the ability to live without fear, and the chance to build a new life. Many of the people who come to youth have served persecution, discrimination, immigration, detention, and homelessness, and the enormous difficulty of straightened life over in a new country. Our mission is to make sure they never have to go through it alone. What began as a small community has grown into an organization that supports the advocates for people, provide education and community programs such as Our Pride Cafe, and creates a space where a person can once again feel that they are not alone and that they belong. West Hollywood has been an important part of that journey. This city has shown our community that there is a place here for LGBTQI people, including immigrants and refugees from countries where simple being yourself can put a person in danger. This proclamation is a recognition note only for our organization. It is a recognition of our volunteers and above all of every person in our community who found the courage and to begin their life again. Thank you so much to Mayor Hellman, to the City Council, and to the City of West Hollywood for supporting we youth and believing in our work. It is a great honor to accept this recognition on behalf of our Since USA. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dimitri.
Can I add to you? I just want to say from myself and from our members in our community, we just want to say thank you for sheltering us. It's so important for Russian-speaking immigrants here to find a place where we can be safe. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for the work you do. And we have one last commendation tonight, and Councilmember Erickson got here just in time to present it. Councilmember Erickson.
Just in time. Sorry, Madam City Clerk, I am here for attendance. I have no Levine Act disclosures, and apologies, maybe we do need to synchronize the lights on Santa Monica Boulevard. That's if you've read the agenda, which some of you actually have, so that makes me feel good about the joke. Anywho, apologies to the public. I was stuck behind some people. I didn't bike, which I should have because I would have gone here faster. Okay, moving on. I'm really excited about this proclamation, and it came about through a meeting, well, not a meeting, just time with a dear friend, and that's with Reverend John Paul Gonzalez, who is the current pastor at St. Victor's Parish here in West Hollywood, my parish that I go to, and someone who I've called a dear friend, an ally, and someone who's been ingratiated into this community in such a great way, and I'm truly thankful for everything you've always given me. And he is the Associate Vicar for Canonical Services of the Archdiocese of Los Angeles, and he celebrated the 20th anniversary since his ordination to the priesthood. Ordained in 2006, he has served the Archdiocese of Los Angeles in numerous roles, and throughout his ministry has collaborated with countless educators, social service providers, crazy politicians like some of us and some of those that might not be identified, interfaith partners and civic leaders, oh, there's a good name for all of us, to advance compassionate outreach and support to vulnerable communities. Since arriving in West Hollywood, he's become a trusted and active partner in the city's civic life, offering pastoral care, engaging in dialogue, and working closely with local organizations. His steadfast leadership and community partnership and deep commitment to the well-being of the region is so felt by so many. I didn't know we had so many friends in common half the time. I know my friend Matt Johnson back there recording me. I do not authorize to be recorded, Mr. Johnson. Nevertheless, said, you just met my friend John Paul. And I went, JP, we're on those types of bases right now. But whether it was asking you, what do I ask the Pope? Something many of you were tormented by this previous election cycle, apologies, to how do I deal with grief? You have been a rock. And not just for me, for so many people that I call family. You started the kind of civic leaders, little pastoral service and church service once a year for Sunday that became the mayor's service and many other ways, but I'm really proud to keep that going. But I'm going to tell a funny story because this is how close you are to my life, is that my dear friends, the Solomons and Silver Solomon, who's in the back, I was there like we always do, and we have our coffee and we get together, and I was coming out after a really wonderful time with you. And true to form, after being peaceful and calm, all I heard was Silver, and it was because my dear adopted niece and godchild, Silver Solomon, was being yelled at by the teachers at St. Victor's School, where she went until she just recently transferred out. But you've become a home in more ways than one. So congratulations on your 20th anniversary. Thank you for all that you do for this community, and thank you for being a dear friend. I would like to invite my colleagues up to accept this proclamation.
It's an occupational hazard to see a pulpit and a microphone and not make use of it. I thank you, City Council, first of all, for your leadership and for the trust that we who have elected you to govern us have shown in such a wonderful way. And I thank you for the trust you have placed in me as a religious leader in this community and giving me this beautiful proclamation celebration of the 20 years of priesthood that I have served, 9 of which have been here in the city of West Hollywood. My only personal ambition as a Catholic priest is to be recognized by others as a friend of Jesus Christ who calls his disciples friends. And I hope people always are able to see in me a friend of Jesus and someone who's capable of being their friend, whether they be Catholic or not. And many of your civic concerns are my concerns as a religious leader in the city, and I appreciate the collaboration with other religious leaders and congregations and collaborations with our civic government. So thank you very much for this city proclamation, and know of my continued prayers and the prayers of my parishioners who are behind me in all the good work that you do. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your leadership. Thank you. That completes our presentations tonight. So if you did receive a presentation and you don't want to stay for our tedious portion of the meeting, you are free to leave. We are going to turn now to public comment. Our city clerk has informed me that we have 16 in chambers and 1 on Zoom. It's a relatively brief meeting, so we're going to try to get through as many of them before we turn to the regular agenda. Do you want to do the one on Zoom to start, and then we'll get that out of the way?
Sure.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Our first speaker on Zoom is Adam Darvish. Adam, you'll have 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, great. Good evening, Mayor Heilman and council members. I'm calling today to thank the city staff and all of you for managing the water leak or the pipe that broke on Sunset by Holloway and the plan that was put in place, the EU plan. Great job, well done. And the fact that most of you called, the residents, I myself got texts and calls from some of you, including council member Chelsea Byers and others. We appreciate the care and TLC and also the plan that the city staff put in place to manage the traffic and close the streets, especially Larrabee and Cynthia for all the pass-through traffic that were bypassing Palm. So thank you so much for all that you've done. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. We'll now turn to the speakers in chambers. We start with those speakers who are on items of the on the consent calendar, rather. Our first speaker is David Reed, to be followed by Greg Rang, and then Shannon Houston.
Good evening, David Reed, Vista Street, wrong side of the fence in Los Angeles. Good evening to the council members I know, to the council members I haven't met, and to you, good evening, Mayor Heilman. I'd like to take this opportunity to voice my support for item B1, tonight's agenda item is well posted. I'd also like to take the opportunity to let council and the citizenry know that AIDS Watch is back. We had some issues online or whatnot, but we're back and with a vengeance after the technical issues sidelined us. This is the 30th anniversary of AIDS Watch, where names are listed and people that have passed from HIV and AIDS, and they're scrolled. The difference with the new website is that now when you go online, the names scroll for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 364 days a year. On World AIDS Day, again, it will go back to white letters on black screen like it did for years. We lost some names when we transferred to the new site, and we'd like people to go online and submit names that they know of people and friends. The new system will tell you if that name is already in the system, and if it is, you can click, and within 30 seconds, you'll see the name scroll. It's really quite pleasant. I'd also like to thank some people in West Hollywood, notably John Heilman and former WehoTV wizard Bob Abrahams, who, without their help, AIDS Watch probably would have died around the turn of the century. But they carried the water and kept it online on WehoTV. It then transferred to the internet, and now it's global. So if you log on to www.aidswatch.org, submit names of your friends, watch them come up online, and remember World AIDS Day, because we can't forget the lost lives and the lost loves. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. Greg Rang, to be followed by Shannon Houston.
Good evening, Mayor Heilman, Vice Mayor Heng, esteemed City Council and City staff. I'm Greg Rang, Executive Director of the West Hollywood Design District. I'd like to thank City staff for pulling forward item B11, understanding our strategy and our work program behind these events. They not only inspire and unite our business community, but they drive revenue to the local economy. I thank City Council for their consideration of this item, and on behalf of our board, thank you for your collaboration and continued support. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Shannon Houston, to be followed by Tom DeMille.
Good evening, Mayor Heilman, Vice Mayor Heng, and council members. My name is Shannon Houston, Director of Family and Child Care Provider Services for Pathways LA. I'm joined tonight by our site manager, Martha Ortega, and our Associate Director, Tiffany House. And we just wanted to provide you with a couple updates. First of all, in June, we celebrated 15 graduates leaving our program. And so far, there's only one that's really eager to come back. So they're all headed off to TK in kindergarten. We're very proud of them. We also just wrapped up the finalization of our strategic plan, which was funded by a grant that was provided to us this year. And as part of that strategic plan, we created a plan for how we could expand our services to serve up to 84 children in a mixed delivery program for subsidized care and also fee-based families as well. And we're really excited about the feasibility study. We know that that's starting soon, and we're just excited to partner and to explore the available spaces for a possible expansion so that we can serve more children here in this community. We're dedicated, we're very committed to serving West Hollywood. We've been in partnership for over 30 years now, and we just look forward to many more. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Tom DeMille, to be followed by Andrew, Callie, and Silver Solomon.
Father John Paul, welcome. Tom DeMille, West Hollywood. As you know, I'm a candidate for city council. We need to wake up our city. We need to, I will build the gay icon Walk of Fame throughout our city that will celebrate all the people that we've loved, that have loved us. We will build together, we will build a Sunset Music icon Walk of Fame. We'll have all of the rock bands throughout all of, well, first we'll put sidewalks on Sunset. There are no sidewalks there now. The sidewalks we have in the Rainbow District are pitiful, but at least there's a little space to walk, not much, but we need to increase both of those sidewalks and make it really livable and walkable for all of our residents. I know that 36,000 of you residents, 20% own businesses, 20% own homes in our city, 80% rent. But the ones who own homes, you're locked in your house. You're afraid to come to the Rainbow District at night. When elected, I'm going to brighten it up. We're going to make it daylight at night. So none of this assaults and people getting hurt there at night or fist fighting or brawls. None of that has to happen ever again in our city. It just stops with me. It just stops with me. There are no excuses for it. Hospitality doesn't allow fist fights. It's also important to build the Russian icon Walk of Fame for the Russian war heroes that the mayor and I stood next to for 30 years. They're past now, but we need to let those families have a little bit of pride in the east of Fairfax. By doing this, we're going to be making the whole city come to life for the next 100 years. People will come to our city and know that they're loved as soon as they walk our sidewalks. September 11th is coming up, the 25th anniversary. Please come. It'll be outside the sheriff's station on September 11th. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom. Andrew, Callie, and Silver Solomon, to be followed by Robin Borner, and then Ivan Anzavoff.
I need a grip.
Hi, good evening. I'm Andrew. This is Callie. This is Silver, and we're here tonight to talk about pickleball.
Just kidding.
That's a
Just
joke.
kidding.
That's a joke. Thank you on that, though. We're here tonight to say thank you to you, to Father John Paul. Silver has been a member of the St. Victor's Preschool for the last year and a half, and I can't tell you what a lifeline it's been for our family. By the way, do everything you can to support the Pathways School because there's not enough room in it for all the families of West Hollywood that need it. So as we go out and we're trying to find childcare to find a school for our kids, we canvass the entire West Hollywood market. St. Victor's is the most affordable, the best, the most loving family that you as a parent can put your kid into. And it doesn't matter if you're Catholic or not. I like to joke that Callie and I aren't Catholic, but Silver is. And pay what you can if you can't afford it. And I know, and I say thank you especially to you because I know that has to be such a money loser for, you know, I mean, it's enriching, but I know that financially there's no way that the service you provide there through the church can make sense, but you've prioritized the community, you've prioritized families, and you really gave us a lifeline, a community, and a special home for Silver. For the past year and a half, you have the most amazing staff with Miss Julie, Miss Anita, Miss Stephanie, and we know that she's been in a loving place.
Do you want to say something? What do you want to say? Are you going to talk into the mic or not? Go.
I love.
Say it loud.
I love is.
Okay, are you too nervous? She wants to say she loves St. Victor's, and it's her last week, and so we just want to thank you so much because it really has completely changed our lives. So thank you.
Thank you, and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Silver. Robin Borner to be followed by Ivan Anzazov. Sorry if I butchered your name.
Good evening, Major Helmet, Vice Major.
Ivan, we'll take Ivan first, and if you don't mind. Sorry about that. No, Ivan, go ahead.
I'm Ivan.
All right. Robin Borner is the person I have. All right, we'll do it this way. Robin, thank you.
Hello, City Council. I'm here to speak on the flock cameras that were recently installed. Flock cameras have proven time and time again that their cameras do more harm than good. Their track record of being used to violate the Fourth Amendment rights of everyone, from women seeking abortions to innocent people who are being flagged for crimes they didn't even commit. There was reporting out of the city of Roseville, California, that 71% of license plates sent to police by flock cameras were misidentified. If my godfather, longtime queer activist Ed Guerin, was able to win his race against John Duran in 2005 and was sitting on this council, we would not be in this situation where flock cameras are in our city exposing information of our immigrants in the city of West Hollywood and putting innocent lives at risk every day. I am proud to carry on his legacy of fighting against this city council's decision to throw the most vulnerable people in our community under the bus for the sake of the almighty dollar. Today's council meeting is just the beginning. Flock WeHo.
Thank you. Ivan Anzavov. Thank you, Ivan. Sorry about that.
Yeah, at first I want to apologize for my Russian LGBTQ+ accent. It's very strong. Good evening, Mayor Hellman, Vice Mayor Hank, and council members and city staff. My name is Ivan. I live in 1300 Larrabee Street, apartment number 2. I have lived here for 9 years, and I'm worried for my safety and safety of my family, my neighbors. Our building is built on the very uneven foundation. Half of it stands on solid rock, but the other half stands on loose sand and dirt from 1958. Every single year, our building cracks. We repeat it, and it cracks again, especially on the terrace. It's very visible. And this is very obvious as well. And it's shifting. The building is kind of going a little bit down, turns the building under us, like right next to. So now city wants to allow a massive 6-story building to be built directly underneath us. It's 48 units and only 16 parking spots. And it's a very narrow street. It's dead-end street. It's Larrabee Street. The city inspector, Benjamin Gallen, came to my home and officially admitted there is no structure retaining wall separating our properties. Three years ago, we actually were able to stop project, which was much smaller. It was only 4 floors and 28 units. Thank you, the city of West Hollywood, for that. So we live in high-risk earthquake zone. If it's a minor shift of earthquake happens, while the developer is digging a deep underground trench right next to our loose sand foundation, our building may split in half or collapse, God forbid. I'm a human being and I'm a long-term resident, and I'm just asking you for help and stop this permit of that building.
Thank you, Ivan. Your time has expired. Robin Cavado, to be followed by Colin Hernandez.
Good evening. My apologies again for coming before, and also please apologize my accent. Sometimes I don't even understand myself.
We understand you fine. Thank you.
So good evening, Mr. Major Hellman, Vice Major Hartman, and council members. I live also in Larrabee Street, and I'm a resident, and I'm also part of the CES member. One of the reasons why I'm here, I'm concerned about the project that Ivan previously was talking, located in 1238 Larrabee Street. Basically, I emailed the city of West Hollywood with a lot of questions about this project, which never been answered. I have copies of my question. If you are interested, I will be able to provide it at the end of this meeting. One of my questions is to clarify the current status of this project. Is it approved or not approved? Half of your staff say that it's approved, half of your another staff say that it's not approved. It's built with the idea of, for senior citizens. However, if you look at our location, we are literally in the top of the hill, so that is not accessible for senior citizens. I just want to be sure that if it is a senior citizen, stay how it is in that project. Just be sure that we follow the fire department access, the construction impact in the residents' health, the hill site stability that Ivan was mentioning before, and the neighbor compatibility and lifestyle for the seniors, citizen, and people with ADA and accessibility.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you so much for your time.
Colin Hernandez, to be followed by Vincent Arcuri.
Hello, everyone. I'm also here to talk about flock. Mass surveillance is never justifiable. Flock hurts our communities all in the name of public safety. Flock cameras have never been proven to help solve crime, but instead hurt vulnerable communities. ICE has been known to use these cameras in collaboration with local law enforcement to surveil our immigrant neighbors. We are seeing many in our communities being kidnapped by the modern-day Gestapo. To invite flock in West Hollywood is unconscionable, as some West Hollywood residents have been taken into ICE custody and now face deportation. ICE has also been used to further racial profile and injustices in policing. These cameras have led to wrongful stops and detentions of predominantly black and brown people. This is not public safety. Mass surveillance is an attack on our civil liberties. West Hollywood should never become a police state. However, these cameras are bringing the city one step closer to that. Flock must go.
Thank you. People, please. Vincent James Arcuri, to be followed by Donna Treifman.
Good evening, Mayor Heimlin, Vice Mayor Hang, council members, and city staff. I've been a resident of West Hollywood for 30 years, and I'm here with some concerns about a proposed 6-story structure being built at the top of Larrabee at 1238 Larrabee Street. I've lived up there at 1300 Larrabee for 4 years. I've also been on that hillside for 28 years. It's an incredibly tight, narrow hillside. Our building, as my neighbors have expressed, 1300 Larrabee, is already structurally unsound. West Hollywood Building and Safety Division Manager Benjamin Gallen has already come out and said there's no structural retaining wall between our property and the adjoining property. The concern is the integrity of the hillside. We just spent 2 years dealing with construction down the street at 1204 Larrabee. That's only a 2-story building. Our street was literally impassable for 2 years. Thankfully, you can navigate the top of the hillside around Ozetta, but you could not get up or down that hill for 2 years straight. The construction and location of this building, that is now 6 stories, 49 units, and only 16 parking spots, is literally right at the meeting point of Larrabee and Ozetta. I mean, it's going to be absolute hell to get around that neighborhood. Right now, there's no place to park on that street. If you walk out the door, you're in Los Angeles, so your parking permit for West Hollywood doesn't even matter. A neighbor has spent $1,000 in parking tickets because all the construction workers doing the construction at 1204 have taken up all of our parking spots. We cannot approve 49 units and only 16 parking spots. No one's opposed to housing. We're all welcoming housing, but if with the integrity of the hillside destroyed, we're all going to be unhoused when our building collapses and we have no place to park.
Thank you. Donna Treifman. candidate.
Hi, yes, good evening, Council. I know some of you from the campaign trail. I met one yesterday, and hello, Mayor Heilman. My name is Donna Triffman. Hello, West Hollywood community as well. I'm a candidate for judge. I'm running in seat 131, and I figured that I would just come out here to introduce myself because LA County is large. The seat number means nothing, and this is sort of free advertising. So if you'd like to know a little bit more about me, that is the correct spelling of my name. Please look me up, Triffman for Judge 2026.com. Just a little bit about me professionally. I have been a public defender in Los Angeles County for 31 plus years. I'm currently one of 10 elite lawyers in the major cases unit. I handle capital litigation, but I've done everything from infractions to misdemeanors to juvenile services. I've held many leadership positions in my office, including being the president of the Public Defender Association. I was the chair of the Rent Stabilization Commission in my city. I'm currently the vice chair of the delegation to the California Conference of Bar Associations. I have many, many endorsements. Personally, I'm a daughter of immigrants, I'm a single mom, and I am a widow. I know how to make difficult decisions under a lot of pressure. I know how you guys feel. I feel sort of like I'm in court right now presenting. And just everyone vote, please. It's really important. Judges are really important. They make important decisions, and you never get to meet us. You never get to hear from us. We're down ballot. So thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, and good luck. We do have some additional speakers. We'll get to you after we handle the rest of our business here, and it should be relatively short. I'm going to turn to our city manager, our interim city manager for tonight, Steve Campbell.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the City Council. I'm happy to report that the city will be hosting CERT, Community Emergency Response Team training beginning on September 1 at Plummer Park. CERT teaches basic disaster response skills to help residents assist and be prepared in emergencies before first responders arrive. For more information and to sign up, contact the Public Safety Division at safety@weho.org. In building and safety news, the California Residential Mitigation Program, or CRMP, will launch its Earthquake Multi-Unit Retrofit, EMR. We love our abbreviations here. The program is as the city's seismic grant program comes to an end. The program will help eligible owners retrofit multifamily residential buildings containing 5 to 10 units. This is another opportunity for property owners who have not yet begun complying with the city's mandatory seismic retrofit ordinance. Pre-registration for West Hollywood property owners opens on August 19th, 2026. For more program details and eligibility requirements, visit crmp.org/EMR. A link is also available on the city's Building and Safety Seismic Program webpage. Finally, I'd like to provide a brief update regarding West Hollywood resident Alex Pereira Alves, who was originally from Brazil and was detained last week by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. He remains in custody at the Adelanto ICE Processing Center. The City of West Hollywood strongly condemns his detention and is calling on ICE to halt any removal while his legal claims receive full and fair consideration. Mayor Heilman has connected the city with Congresswoman Laura Friedman and Senators Alex Padilla and Adam Schiff to request their intervention. We are also working to connect Mr. Pereira Alves with available assistance and resources. The City of West Hollywood will continue to stand firmly for due process, fairness, and the safety and dignity of every member of our community. The city has issued a statement with details available at weho.org/news, and will provide updates on this matter as they become available. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for the city manager? Councilmember Erickson.
Thank you. I don't know if Danny Rivas might need to answer this question, but it's about what happens when an escaped pig runs through the streets of West Hollywood. My question is there a way, city manager, acting city manager, that this is always an animal control question. We have another issue regarding animals in the city of West Hollywood, but could the city communication department or something maybe put out a continued way for animals that are seen on the streets, if they're more domesticated in that way. I got several calls about, I was really shocked to get these calls, to be honest. Like someone's like, there's a pig running, and I'm from Wisconsin, so I thought it was a big pig, right? So I was like, what? Who keeps it in a rent-controlled apartment? Nevertheless, but is there a way in which the city can maybe just do some reaffirming messaging about animals, cats, dogs that they might see in the street? I know we have a good TNR program, but all those things, again, that's just a request.
Yes, of course. We can always put together some information and put it out through the
And I know
appropriate
Josh
channels.
is in the back room, so he's immediately working and figuring out how we can get a Wilbur-inspired graphic for escaped
He'll have
piglets.
something up before the end of the meeting.
I know we will. And then my question is because I have gotten a number of flock-related questions, and I think I already know the answer to this question. The public is not aware or able to figure out where the cameras are located throughout the city, even though they are being surveyed, correct?
That's my understanding, but I would defer to Danny Rivas if he's available.
You don't have to answer the pig question, so you kind of got out of this one.
Councilmember Erickson, can you repeat it?
Sure.
Because we have the AC unit in the back and it's pretty loud back there.
Oh, sorry about that, yes. My question, because I've gotten requests from members of the public who are unhappy with the decision, but they would like to know specifically where the cameras are located. My response to them was, I don't even know that information. The city wouldn't give out that information, even though they're being surveyed, whether they want it or not. But is it my understanding that the city would not publish or put out where flock cameras are located?
That is correct, yeah. In consultation with the Sheriff's Department for safety reasons for the cameras themselves, we have not publicized where the locations are at.
Okay, thank you very much. Those are all my questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve, for filling in for Jackie tonight. We'll now turn to our consent calendar. The consent calendar is a series of routine items that we approve with a single motion, and our city clerk is going to give us an update as to the fiscal impact of the consent calendar.
Thank you, Mayor. The fiscal impact on tonight's consent calendar with the addition of items E1 and F1 is $1,214,172 in expenditures, $0 in revenue, and $61,200 in waived fees. There is a motion and a second to adopt tonight's consent calendar.
And the consent calendar is approved, and we will see some of our staff members exiting now that their items have been approved. Thank you, everyone. There are no public hearings or legislative items tonight, so we will move to unfinished business. Those of you who are here for Larrabee, I believe that there are some staff people from community development who are here. Jennifer, are you here tonight? Yes. So she may be able to let you know what the status is officially. So Jennifer, if you could raise your hand again before they leave, maybe you could give them an update. Thank you. No legislative items. We'll turn to unfinished business. We moved E1 to consent. And we moved F1 to consent, and that brings us to item F2. And Councilmember Erickson, do we need a staff report on this item?
This is mine, right?
Yes.
I'm happy just to talk about it if you want me to. Or why don't we just go to the public?
Yeah, are there speakers on this item?
Yes, we have 4 speakers and citizen position slips.
All right, so let's get our speakers here. Angie Ayala to be followed by Susan Isaac, and then Cameron Cash and Kyle Brazil. Is Angie Ayala here? Angie, thank you. Susan Isaacs, I saw her, I believe. Angie, yes, please go ahead.
Sorry.
You're pulling it up on your phone. I see that. Okay. And pull the mic down. Yeah, thanks.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Angie Ayala. I work at Ralph's. I'm a proud member of UFCW 770. First, I want to thank the City Council for considering item F2, Standards for Self-Checkout Operations. I was working at Ralph's when self-checkout was first introduced. Before that, I remember having a courtesy clerk at every register. Our customers even had their favorites. When the screens first came in, we saw confusion, frustration, and longer transactions. And as self-checkout expanded, we saw fewer workers available to provide customers with the service they depend on. Today, one worker is expected to monitor multiple machines, fix scanning errors, look up produce codes, answer questions, unlock items, and keep everything moving. Simply, they cannot provide the customer service that our customers deserve. I'm not just a worker, though. I'm also a customer and a mom. I have 2 kids, ages 11 and 7, and when I need to get in and out of the store, I still don't use self-checkout. I remember I'd rather have my kids have that interaction, have that interaction because they are part of our families. I'm not the only one that feels that way. A survey of grocery customers found that well over half do not prefer self-checkout, and more than 50% have experienced technical problems. 3-to-1 staffing ratio would make self-checkout manageable instead of leaving workers stretched. A 15-item limit would keep larger orders in staffed lanes, and requiring one staff lane to stay open at all times would give our customers the help that they need. We're not asking stores to eliminate technology. We're just asking them to make sure they don't replace the people who make our groceries work. West Hollywood, you guys deserve credit for bringing this to light. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Angie. Susan Isaacs, to be followed by Cameron Cash.
Mayor Heilman, Vice Mayor Hong, and City Council members, good evening. My name is Susan Isaacs. I'm a member of 4 women, formerly known as the National Council of Jewish Women, Los Angeles. I'm a West Hollywood resident and customer at Pavilions. I support agenda item F2 and the proposed standards for self-checkout. I've seen how self-checkout can actually make shopping more frustrating. The machines don't always work properly. If I make a mistake, or when something goes wrong with the technology, I have to wait quite a while for someone to come up and help. Stores are opening more self-checkout stations while reducing traditional checkout stands. The result is long lines for both. And there's a bigger question. Bigger issue. Self-checkout allows companies to reduce labor costs by operating with fewer employees. Stores are already understaffed. The result is employees lose work and customer service declines. A survey conducted by the United Food and Commercial Workers Union Local 770 and the LA Alliance for a New Economy of more than 400 grocery shoppers found that 68% would prefer to check out through a traditional staffed lane. 73% had encountered technological issues while using self-checkout. I want our stores to provide customers with a real choice, not simply the choice to do the cashier's job ourselves. I urge the council to move forward with strong practical standards governing self-checkout. Thank you.
Thank you. Cameron Cash, to be followed by Kyle Brazil.
Hello. Good evening.
You can lift the mic up if you want.
Thank you so much, Mayor.
Yeah.
My name is Cameron Cash, and I'm a member and community organizer with CLUE Justice, which stands for Community Clergy and Laity United for Economic Justice. And I'm here today in strong support of item F2 and the proposed regulations for self-checkout at large retailers. Susan said we recently surveyed grocery customers about their experiences with self-checkout, and the message was very clear. Customers overwhelmingly said they would rather use a staffed checkout lane. More than half also reported experiencing technical problems and/or language barriers when using self-checkout technology. This is about more than convenience. For many workers and customers, having more staff in the checkout area means having a real person available to answer a question, to resolve a problem, and communicate across language barriers. It also means preserving good, accessible jobs in our communities and making our stores safer against retail theft. Technology should serve people instead of making the shopping experience harder for customers. I urge the council to support item F2 and ensure that self-checkout is properly regulated in the city of West Hollywood. Cities like Long Beach and Costa Mesa and Santa Ana have all passed similar ordinances already, and I would love to see West Hollywood be the next city to take this necessary step to protect workers and customers. Thank you.
Thank you. Kyle Brazil, to be followed by Tim James.
Good evening, council members. Kyle Brazil, resident of West Hollywood. Thank you for raising an item about how the city can better partner with local businesses to address retail theft. Establishing meaningful deterrence in West Hollywood is important, and our businesses, employees, and customers all benefit when retail theft is prevented. While I support that mission, I worry that this proposal instead inserts the city into the day-to-day staffing decisions of local businesses in an overly prescriptive ordinance. Requirements like fixed employee to checkout ratios or requiring employees to be exclusively assigned to self-checkout can add significant costs. Even if a business's size, layout, foot traffic, or existing security measures make it unnecessary. Take grocery stores as an example. Years ago, the firm I worked for had a significant stake in Smart & Final, and what that taught me was that grocery stores operate at incredibly thin profit margins, typically somewhere between 1% to 2%. Mandating additional staffing can substantially increase their operating costs. And so at the end of the day, we have to answer, what does this mean for our residents? So how does that translate to our community? It says it could translate into higher grocery prices for those stores having to offset these costs. It could result in reduced employee hours for these businesses trying to mitigate the costs of these new roles. It could even raise questions about whether these locations would close if they are no longer financially viable. And while I appreciate the thought that residents would prefer a staffed line, I think overall they would still prefer to have a grocery store than watch one close because of costs implemented by the city. So again, I appreciate the conversation. I hope that you'll bring people to the table, including grocery stores, residents, and unions representing labor. But I want to make sure that we're preserving flexibility for our businesses to operate as they need and not adding pressure without necessity. Thank you.
Thank you. Tim James.
Council members, Tim James, California Grocers Association. In regard to self-checkout regulation, our request is West Hollywood grocers be formally included in the policy development process with the city. In the spirit of partnership, if granted, we will refrain from taking a policy position pending the cooperative process. Grocers are fully committed to supporting both our employees and consumers because without either, there is no store. Brick and mortar grocers are under increasing competition and pressure to remain viable as consumers are overwhelmingly drawn to more convenient alternatives, including online. As with any policy, it's critical both the specific and overall impacts be understood to avoid unintended consequences, which is why we believe a cooperative process is both necessary and appreciated. As part of our partnership, we believe consideration of current collective bargaining agreement, which guarantees staffed lanes, industry data and experience with other regulations, state regulation covering issues of concern, overwhelming demand for self-checkout by consumer behavior verified by independent third-party data, and brick and mortar store sustainability be considered. Early adopters and those impacted did not have the benefit of the data and experience to guide their deliberations. We believe you are in a unique position to to take advantage of this knowledge, and we look forward to working with you in partnership to move forward. Thank you for your consideration and your partnership.
Thank you. That is our last speaker. There are some position slips. Melissa?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. The following individuals submitted citizen position slips in support of the item: Sam Christian and Isabel Franz.
Great, thank you. Council questions, discussion. Councilmember Erickson, this is your item.
Sure, thank you. Just before we go, because I think this might be a concern for the council, I do want to make sure that part of any final direction, should this item be passed tonight, that we do outreach to impacted businesses so they work with the staff and or our business, whoever would be involved in the drafting of this, and our economic development department if it goes there. So that way we make sure everyone is at the table. So I'm just going to go back to some of my earlier remarks about why I brought this forward, and I want to thank all the members of the public who wrote in and came tonight to speak on its behalf. So this is about not banning self-checkout. It's about making sure the automation does not come at the expense of workers, customers, and public safety. I think the key distinction that I'm looking at here is that not an ordinance we're adopting tonight, is like, how do we come together to make a good policy that works for all parties? So I brought this forward for a couple of reasons. Retail theft remains a serious challenge for businesses, something the city's been on record on, not only with smash and grab policies that we've advocated for in Sacramento, or myself as president of Contract Cities, but California recorded more than 132,000 shoplifting incidents in 2024, the highest reported, as 47.5% above 2019, pandemic inflation notwithstanding. Business responded to the losses through shrinkage by increasing security, reducing staffing, leaving positions vacant, or potentially passing costs on to consumers. And I'm going to get to the conversation about increasing costs or closing down stores as a result. We've had this conversation, I know, Councilmember Byers and I, multiple times. Workers can end up responsible for monitoring multiple stations, as commented here tonight, while simultaneously being expected to perform other duties. Where's the bathroom? Where do I get this? I'm looking for this sale item. I mean, you name it, I've seen it. If you've been to the West Hollywood Target, you know it is like an extravaganza and cornucopia of questions that you never thought you'd get asked at a checkout line, but nevertheless. Customers who struggle with self-checkout also, whether they be seniors or other people, need more help and assistance, and having dedicated staffing for people who are there to help with technology is really vital and important, and makes the store successful as well, and there's a wonderful customer experience. But we want to make sure we avoid frustration and increase pressure and conflict on frontline workers, who we have also in the city declared heroes back in the pandemic. I don't think technology is the enemy here. I think this is a really wonderful tool for us to use technology, and self-checkout, something I like to do quickly, can be something that is convenient, and customers like it, and businesses find it useful. Target, bring back self-checkout, for the love of God. But if a store itself has 10 self-checkout machines and one employee is expected to monitor them while also stocking shelves, answering questions, and handling other responsibilities, I think we've created a system that doesn't serve anyone well. And so I've really looked at other points that Costa Mesa, Long Beach, and Santa Ana are considering. And I think a lot of these common standards, and one that I want to highlight that sets this ordinance apart, specifically. So 1 dedicated employee per 3 self-checkout stations, with Long Beach using 1 to 2. The employee must be dedicated to monitoring those stations. A staff checkout lane must remain open whenever self-checkout is operating. No self-checkout for alcohol, tobacco, or certain theft deterrent items. A 15-item maximum. Clear signage explaining how to report the rules and violations. Application primarily to larger retail establishment, and this is what sets ours completely aside, is that there is a notice and cure process before penalties, something that other cities themselves actually do not have, and something that helps make sure that we are not inviting frivolous lawsuits or other things that could occur, and we're also working for the benefit of the store. And I think that policy is really about not creating a punitive bureaucracy. So if a business inadvertently violates, first step can be, here's the problem, please fix it. And I really appreciate and thank Tim and other people who have brought these conversations to the forefront for how we can do that. Additionally, I just want to address the comment that we could risk losing stores or anything. If you live in West Hollywood, which some of you do and some of you don't, we just opened 2 new grocery stores. There are more grocery stores than I think there are sushi restaurants per hundreds of gays known to our square footage of 1.9 square miles. It's always a funny thing that when we did Hero Pay back in, Councilmember Meister was on the council when we did Hero Pay back then during the pandemic. We kept hearing from places like Gelson's and other major corporations that we were going to shut down and we were never going to be there. Well, corporations love to say a lot of stuff, but ultimately, did those prices go down after we decreased Hero Pay? Absolutely not. Grapes or whatever you buy at Gelson's are still probably $2 to $3 more than they were because they know consumers will pay them. And specifically in West Hollywood, even though people like to think that we are very affluent or other areas, there are still people that are seniors and others living on a fixed income still paying that price for a corporate monopoly that itself could be doing more by paying its executives less and its workers more. Additionally, yeah, you can clap for that. But I want to acknowledge the thing that I said, I think, at a press conference many years ago when Councilmember Byers got on the council is, I dare you to shut down a grocery store in West Hollywood. Literally, I dare you. I can not only imagine, this city took a position on the closing down of a pavilions. We put a resolution, a letter, sent letters to our congressional representatives to oppose a corporate merger between Albertsons and Bonds, and we won. That merger stopped. So all I have to say is that I think this is smart policy. I hope my colleagues support it with the small amendment. And, in looking at getting the policy done right, I think is a really good example for how other people continue to do self-checkout. And also remember, corporations are submitting self-reported retail theft crimes versus actually ones that are based in fact. And the reason why you have to press a button when you go to these corporations is, yes, these items are at risk for being stealed, but it was also to continue a narrative that crime is rampant throughout certain areas, when in reality, crime is down, these things are down, and that we have to understand that workers themselves are being asked to do more with less. So I hope people will support this ordinance tonight.
Thank you. Other comments from the council or questions?
I don't have much to add. I just want to clarify. You mentioned an amendment to the item as directed. Is that just to include outreach to the businesses, the California Grocers Association who's in the room?
Yeah, I think California Grocers Association are businesses here that would be impacted by this ordinance that would have self-checkout. It's mostly the larger ones that would implement it. I believe Target, Pavilions. I don't believe Gelson's ever had self-checkout, but any other ones that we could do, and maybe working with our local Chamber of Commerce to understand and identify who that would be.
Sure, and because this would not only impact current businesses that have that self-checkout retail, but businesses that may be considering to bring it online too. It would be a policy that would go into place. So I do think the Chamber would be a good partner. I appreciate you bringing this forward. I think that hearing from the experiences in the room, we've all probably had that experience. I think when you go to the store, the point of going to the store is that you interact with people who are there to help you. It's part of the alternative of not going to online as a resource when that is available. So I appreciate that you're bringing this forward. And is there a timeline that you're suggesting that staff move this on? I didn't see that put into the report.
I don't have a timeline on it. I know staff is very stretched at the moment, and I want to make sure the outreach is done correctly. So of course, I won't probably be here when this item probably comes before you all, but I would love to make sure that we give the time that this needs, because I think we have some really amazing stores that are big and small in West Hollywood, and I think this also could be a model policy for how other cities implement, because there are moves to do this elsewhere, and I would like us to continue to use that in a positive way.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Hang, and then Councilmember Meister.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to thank my colleague, Councilmember Erickson, for bringing this item forward. I do see the value in it, that it protects workers. And just to share my own experience, I'm the guy that scans the coconut in wrong, that stops the entire line, and then I have to wait for the flashing lights on top for 15 minutes for someone to help assist me because I'm not good with technology. So I think this item protects workers, but also adds a layer of customer service to customers who go to these stores to buy their groceries for their families. So I am appreciative of this item, and I want to thank my colleague for introducing this. Thank
How
you.
many coconuts are you buying, Vice Mayor Hang?
Councilmember Meister.
Thank you. Yeah, as long as we are adding that aspect of reaching out to our businesses and the association. I mean, I've seen us not do that in the past with our hoteliers, and it just alienates our businesses if we don't include them in a genuine way. So I just want to make sure that that will be happening, and then, you know, when the ordinance comes back, we'll see what it looks like.
Yes, I wanted to thank you for bringing this forward. Thank you to everyone who spoke tonight. I do want to clarify that there is no ordinance before us tonight. This is really a direction to our staff to work with all of the stakeholders to develop an ordinance. And as the item is drafted, I'm really envisioning something that can be more flexible and actually can take into account the unique circumstances of particular businesses. There may be businesses where 3 is the right number, or other businesses 4 is the right number. Some businesses 2 might be the right number. So I will say that I must be one of the outliers. I love self-checkout because that means I don't have to talk to anyone, because most of my days I'm talking to people all day long, and so I'm happy to go in, check out, and not have to talk to anyone. But I really do understand and appreciate the sentiment behind this item, and I plan to support it. So I think we have a motion and a second, and if we can take the roll, the item passes unanimously. Thank you, everyone. The next item is item F3. Do we have speakers on this one, Melissa? Yes, we do have one speaker. Can we take the speaker first, Kevin Burton? And then I'll go ahead and discuss the item and present.
As Kevin's coming up, we also have citizen positions.
Okay, thank you.
Would it be appropriate for me to wait for you to discuss your item first?
Sure. Yeah, no problem. So the item before us tonight is to give direction to our staff to review the way that our traffic and pedestrian signals operate currently along Santa Monica Boulevard. They are currently not in synchronization. Anyone who drives on Santa Monica Boulevard knows that. And it has been exacerbated to some degree by some of the improvements we've made, particularly between La Cienega and Hancock. We have put in some well-needed pedestrian signals, but those are not coordinated with the lights. And so it is possible for a vehicle that is driving westbound, and I've seen this happen, to stop at West Knoll for the signal for pedestrians, and then stop at the next signal, and the next one, and the next one. And that, I think, creates frustration for drivers, but it also isn't safe for pedestrians who are crossing, because if we are coordinating everything, I think it makes it much more efficient. It also is better environmentally. We have also, without the pedestrian signals, we have also made a number of other changes to how the lights operate. Particularly, we've made delays so that pedestrians have a head start. This has been done without coordinating when those signals operate. Those of us who drive westbound into Beverly Hills, and I know a lot of people do go that way for work. When you're driving on Santa Monica Boulevard, when the signal changes at one street, it changes at all of those streets. And it turns green at all of the streets simultaneously. And this allows for the traffic to flow more efficiently. And it also means that traffic is stopped at the same time. And I think that increases safety for pedestrians. I know that staff has a lot on its plate, so this is not directing that this be done immediately, but rather consistent with our policy that it be put into the work plan for the upcoming fiscal year. Once that's completed, I've asked that staff in this item do the same thing with respect to Sunset Boulevard, another street where there is currently a lot of traffic signals, but they are no longer coordinated due to various changes that have been made along the way. So that's the item. Do we want to take questions first, or do we want to turn to public speaker? Kevin, does that give you enough clarity as to the item? Thank you for your patience. And Steve Martin is also on the list to speak. Thank you.
Good evening, Kevin Burton, City of West Hollywood. And I just want to comment that I don't think this item is thoroughly thought through, in the sense that, of course, we want to have the signals synchronized, and they're not all synchronized, but it duplicates efforts that the city already goes through from time to time to coordinate the signals. So I'm not sure it's going to add anything to what the city staff and the engineering division already does. Also, the second part of the proposal, which really wasn't discussed, is to have a re-evaluation of the synchronization every time there's some small change to a traffic signal, or flashing lights are added to a crosswalk. And that will be just a big waste of time for staff and money to the city to do that every time. I think that's quite unwise to ask staff to do that. Also, the idea that a number of these improvements to pedestrian safety and public transit are adding significantly to traffic flow is completely vacuous. The flashing lights at the crosswalks, those crosswalks were already there. So pedestrians could step out before the lights were ever installed. And if anything, the lights are causing the cars to stop more often than they did in the past. And that's what led to a significant reduction in collisions with pedestrians on Fountain Avenue. Some people forget this result. And likewise, the other concerns, the LPIs, scrambled crosswalks, the other kinds of pedestrian activated signals, introduce very little delay. And I wouldn't take that seriously, but it should be considered. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Steve Martin.
Steve Martin, West Hollywood. And I appreciate the mayor's sort of orientation and explanation on these issues. As a person who actually drives the length of Santa Monica Boulevard, I think other than Councilmember Erickson, I'm probably the only person that gets past Fairfax on a regular basis. The lights really need to be looked at. And, you know, as a pedestrian, I love the Head Start things that you guys have put in that are really helpful, and I appreciate the fact that you are always on the outlook for doing stuff. But it's overdue, but more importantly, this is going to be a bigger mess once the fountain redesign gets kicked in. And, you know, if you've got problems now, you're going to have more incredible problems once 20,000 cars get pushed down onto Sunset. As from what I can see, and I've been participating in this conversation for a long time, nothing is being done to prepare for these additional trips going on Santa Monica and to some extent on Sunset. We're just going to let it happen, and we're not doing any sort of mitigations. We're not looking out to have a plan to study it and look at the lights. I suppose we'll go on for 5 or 6 months with chaos before we get around to perhaps addressing that. And that is my concern, because I think this is really important and well-meaning, but I think if we're going into this other project on Fountain, we need to go in with eyes wide open so that we can make sure our city functions. Thank you.
Thank you. Melissa, I think we have citizen position slips.
Yes, we do. The following individuals submitted citizen position slips in support of the item: Larry Block and Kyle Brazil.
Thank you. I do want to respond to Kevin's comments. Staff, unfortunately, is not regularly synchronizing the lighting. And they acknowledged to me that the lights are not currently in synchronization. The pedestrian signals that we installed, they are not even connected to the light system, the traffic light system. So that would have to be changed to move forward with synchronization. So I did want to just point out that this is not something that staff is routinely doing, and every time changes are made, that throws out the current alignment of the traffic lights. I do agree with you, Kevin, that not every minor change warrants a complete resynchronization, but any significant change should be implemented only by coordinating with the other signals. Otherwise, the traffic flow is interrupted again. All right, I'd be glad to answer any questions that my colleagues have or entertain discussion.
I'm happy to jump in, Mayor.
Yeah.
Thank you. I certainly hear people have these concerns, not having a car and spending my time driving down Santa Monica Boulevard. It's not an experience I have, but I do from the point of view of being on a bicycle. When the red lights are red, there's a lot of stops, so I understand that. But what I'm challenged by with this item is not having our staff here available to answer questions as part of it. And I wonder if our assistant city manager, or interim city manager today, knows when the next Vision Zero update would be coming to city council. And I wonder if this is a conversation, as you noted, Mayor, there isn't a timeliness because this would have to go into future work plans and be budgeted for. If we could have this conversation at a later time as part of a regular, or a scheduled update on Vision Zero. Some of the comments that we've received both tonight and written comments sort of are concerned or have tension around how this would impact the pedestrian experience and how we're thinking about the sequencing of traffic lights as it relates to some of the transformations that we've been trying to bring online through Vision Zero. So I think I'd be better served having a conversation on this with those two items brought together, and if there's no timeliness, then maybe we have a sense of when that would happen next. And maybe not, but.
City manager.
Yeah, thank you. I don't have a date when that'll be coming forward, but certainly we can get back to you all with an outlook on when we plan to present that. Unless Helen, you have a date handy?
Yes, I saw Helen.
She's running up here.
Our engineer.
I'm just sneaking up on everyone. No, we'll probably be bringing an update probably October, November timeframe on that, on the Vision Zero, and we can definitely try to incorporate some of this information into that update.
Other questions? Councilmember Meister.
First of all, I guess I'm very supportive of this item, but I'm a little confused because I don't know if you remember, but the first year that I was in office, this was an item, synchronization of traffic lights was something that we brought forward that was adopted by council back in 2015 or early 2016. So the fact that that hasn't happened is a little disconcerting. But I understand that, we throw a lot of work at our staff and maybe at the time it wasn't a priority. I also think that, the biggest complaint that I get is that whether you're coming down Santa Monica Boulevard or Sunset from Beverly Hills, people are able to get through Beverly Hills, and like you mentioned, the minute they hit West Hollywood, that's where all the traffic starts, and then it's just stop and go and stop and go. I haven't heard people from Beverly Hills complaining that they can't get across the street because of their synced traffic lights. So I'm very supportive of this, and I do believe also that any changes, major changes that happen in our city, whether it be what's happening on Fountain or anywhere else, that it does need to be considered and looked at what kind of impact it will have on our lights.
And just to respond to your first point, I believe that there was synchronization that was accomplished back in 2015, but then traffic patterns change, lights change, there are changes, additions to pedestrian signals, changes in putting in turn arrows in some places, and that results in everything becoming out of alignment. So, yeah.
Well, all the more reason then to approve the item.
Councilmember Erickson, Vice Mayor Hang.
Thank you so much, Mayor. I appreciate this item. I too, like Councilmember Meister, hear about big bad West Hollywood and our buttons versus getting through Beverly Hills in a timely manner, and one I experienced tonight on my way here. So I'm deeply connected to this. I too, I support the intent of the item. I want to make it as clear and as more accessible as possible. But I would love to see this in coordination with our larger public safety conversations, such a public transportation conversation with Vision Zero or with our other department, just so we can have that information. And Steve and Helen, who's walked back and forth, but maybe not, my understanding is that we could synchronize everything tomorrow, but because we have the push buttons, or what do they call them, the beg buttons, you have to beg to cross the street, that, because it happens all over the city, screws up the timing and the streamlining no matter what if we synchronize? Or could you correct me in my public if my misunderstanding is incorrect?
Yeah, I see Helen coming up, and I'll let her speak, but there are a lot of layers to this process and the synchronization. It's not just the things you've heard here tonight. There's also the metro that has priority pass with the buses and along with Helen.
So we've made a lot of changes on Santa Monica over the last couple of years, including, or maybe the last 7 or 8 years, including what we call on-demand, the on-demand crosswalks, which are not part of the traffic signal system. So if we move forward with trying to, I don't know if synchronization, John would tell me it's more of optimization of our traffic signals on Santa Monica, trying to optimize them. We would have to look at a way where we could coordinate the on-demand with the traffic signals, because the way it currently goes is someone can just push the button and then it stops any flow that you have. So we would have to look at if there's a possibility for the on-demand to go into some type of synchronization where you wouldn't necessarily get an automatic cross. You would wait for the signal for the lights to come on. So those are things that we would have to look at as part of a bigger, like we said, Vision Zero, bigger project. But it is the on-demand that you were referencing, okay, or beg to cross the street.
So I was kind of right.
You were close.
Okay,
they're
great.
not connected.
Being close in your book, Helen, is like, I consider that a badge of honor. So just
yeah. So they're not connected. That's true. They're not connected to the system. So there's no way to control them in regards to the other. But as we had talked with the mayor about, we would have to look into possibilities of how we would modify that in the future to be able to do a full synchronization or optimization.
And then, if I may, Mayor, I have one more quick question. I know we are studying bike lanes on Santa Monica Boulevard, but we're doing that by block analysis. If we were to add this, that would add another layer. But specifically, then I know bikes and/or certain areas, if they can't press the beg button, there's those other aspects. There's those other pieces in the street where it signals at certain areas.
There's like a loop, inductive loop.
Loops. Yeah. But that's not all over Santa Monica. That's in certain areas, right?
I think it's in certain areas. I'm not sure. I don't have that in front of me.
That's through with synchronization as well?
I don't think that messes with this. Well, that's part of the traffic signal process, whereas the on-demand is what is the one thing that isn't controlled through there's a couple different things on Santa Monica that aren't controlled through the traffic signals, but the on-demand is one of those as well.
Okay, and then how does the four-way intersection at like San Vicente, Santa Monica, or Robertson and Santa Monica, would that?
You mean the scramble?
The scramble.
The scrambles, I mean, we would have to look at those as part of the whole process, because it's just like with anything else. Those could be part of the optimization. Synchronization is difficult because of the way the street's laid out and all the different modifications that we've made, but those would be part of that. They are part of the traffic signal. And we have on-call contractor that's constantly looking at all the different things that we do and how they impact our traffic signals and making sure the timing is optimized.
Okay. Vice Mayor Hang.
Thank you, Mayor. Helen, I remember last year I had asked your division in terms of how many loops there are in the city, and we were going to discuss replacing the outdated loops with newer technology loops.
Newer technology. There is newer technology out there, and I mean, I don't know how many there are exactly in the city. Usually at most intersections, we do have the inductive loops, which are buried in the ground. There is camera technology that does the same thing. I think we are moving towards that. I mean, I can have John come up and maybe speak to that. He's better versed on that than I am.
Yeah.
Our city engineer.
Hello, John Gilmore, city engineer. Yes, so not all signals have loops because there are intersections where there's a primary and a secondary. And so the primary sometimes is just designed and programmed to always control the situation. So like, for example, on Santa Monica, you may not have a loop because you're the defaulted pattern, right? And so only if someone comes from a secondary, small street, they would hit a loop and then say, hey, it's our turn, right? So you don't always have loops at intersections. And then as far as video, that is the newer model, right? It's obviously more expensive, and then maintenance of that is higher than loops, right? But it is like a model that we do here now. So whenever we have modification projects, then we'll incorporate, obviously, that newer technology into the project, but we don't have a current work plan where we're just wholesaling, going through all of the signals and converting them to video. It is, expensive, but whenever we have a project, like the left turn arrows project, we are moving over to the video with that expense.
Thank you. And I think last year I was supposed to go on a ride-along on a Saturday morning with somebody, and we were going to ride along and count each induction loop at each intersection. So I would still like to do that when possible, because I want to know how many loops there are, and what's the older technology, what's the new technology, what needs to be replaced. So we've heard a lot of technical discussion tonight, and I do really appreciate the spirit of this item, Mayor. Thank you for bringing it forward. I'm of the mind where I'd like to see this as a wider discussion along with Vision Zero, so that way staff can present, more technical analysis of this to the council. I wasn't on the council when synchronization or optimization was voted on before, but if this is roped into a wider discussion with Vision Zero, it would give me a better opportunity to learn more of the technical aspects of what needs to be done and what can be done to optimize or synchronize, whatever word you want to use. Thank you.
So it sounded like from your comments before that that's likely to come to us in October or November?
Probably November. We need to compile some more information after this evening based on the input and the comments we're getting this evening. We will compile some more information and come back in probably at end of last meeting in October, first meeting in November.
Okay, so council, are we comfortable with moving forward with this concept as part of a discussion of Project Zero?
I'm comfortable making sure that it comes back as part of the Vision Zero conversation. I, have a lot of hesitancies around this because I think part of what I'm hearing is that the on-demand pedestrian signals, part of what allows pedestrian activity to be the priority in our community, is part of the challenge here. So I wouldn't, I'm not advocating to reduce or remove the on-demand. I think that experience of being able to walk up, cross the street is part of what, made us the most walkable destination in the country. So I don't want to lose some of those features, but that's why I think having a more comprehensive conversation when we can is appropriate. So thank you.
And we can definitely talk with our on-call consultants, and John may correct me here, but to see if they have a formula that allows for that as well when they go to optimize the signals. Because we're currently making some changes. We're doing the fiber optic and some other changes. So we don't want to do any major changes to the optimization right now, but we can definitely look at having our consultant see if there's a formula that incorporates those or not. That there may be. We haven't had that conversation with them yet.
And it sounds like we have time to have that, given some of the things that we're waiting on, Metro's completion, some of the things you just suggested, so.
Yeah, it's ever evolving on the different things that we're doing on our major streets.
Comfortable, thanks, Mayor.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm sorry, Helen. We also discussed putting up signage at areas where there are induction loops, so that way it would alert bicyclists and scooter riders that there is a loop there for them to go on.
Yeah, I think I don't know if we've started that yet, but I know it's been talked about at the Transportation Mobility Commission as well, so it's something that we can definitely bring back internally and see where we're at with that.
Fantastic, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
So I think, Mayor, if I may understand what you're suggesting is that we would essentially we would table this item to be woven into a conversation to this, like we're not essentially saying go do this right now. We're
Right.
saying go back and bring this information with the whole package together.
Yes, bring this item back to us when we have the Vision Zero discussion in October or November. And, we can discuss at that point how we could implement this if we want to give direction at that time. I do want to just clarify that most of our signals are not on demand. Most of our pedestrian crossings are at intersections. And at an intersection, you wait until the light changes. There are a number of pedestrian crossings that are not coordinated with the traffic signals. Those are the ones that are on demand. And even those, they don't immediately stop. You have to wait until it stops,
Yeah, it's
until it
just
flashes.
The in-ground warning ones, they're the ones that are on what we call on demand.
Okay.
Yes.
Great, thank
Sorry.
you. We're clear on the direction here. I don't think we need a motion. I think we gave direction. Thank you very much for coming in. We do have a number of additional public comments. I'm sorry we didn't get to you at the beginning of the meeting. Our first speaker is LFO from Rio, to be followed by Angela De Silva and then Michael Dunn.
I think LFO left the building.
All right, thank you. Angela De Silva, to be followed by Michael Dunn and then Ali Shahidi.
Hello again. I'm here again on behalf of WAB, and I'm excited to share that Katie Thomas is our new vice chair. I forgot to say that earlier. My first run as chair was in 2021 during the pandemic, and it's an honor to go full force again right now when we see women's rights and our national government as a whole on fire. In this last year, raising a new infant with a toddler and needing to take some maternity leave, it's shown me especially the importance of community and the support of local government. And I'm seeing that need for community outside of myself as the events that we have are growing again in attendance, and so many people tell us about how appreciative they are and the desire for more. Aside from our upcoming Equality Day Town Hall, we are discussing having community meetups with themes around women's health issues, financial literacy, and so on, to further the connection between West Hollywood residents, fostering the ability for people to lean on each other in sickness, with childcare, and intergenerational friendships, etc. West Hollywood was one of the first cities to bring up the conversation about intimate partner abuse and domestic violence. And this October, we hope to create a larger conversation around this as well. Our city has so many amazing resources that people don't know about, and our board is constantly working on ways to partner and get our messages out. A few of us attended last week's meeting on the California Commission on the Status of Women and Girls to continue showing how our small city makes such a big difference in people's lives. And apart from raising awareness with all these other partnerships, we also discussed legislation to recommend to you that is crucial in the time when health, voting, and protective rights are taken away by people who don't know anything about the subjects. Well, this is the smallest snippet of what we've been doing the last couple months. I'm really here to acknowledge how much the city does for its constituents. While so much of our city council meetings are about infrastructure, I'm so grateful that our boards can help with tackling national issues on a local level, working with state and national organizations to broaden our reach and amplify West Hollywood and our values, and trickle this advocacy into something that this nation truly needs right now. Thank you. With 4 seconds to go.
Yeah, thank you, Angela. Michael Dunn. Thank you, Michael. And Michael will be followed by Ali Shahidi and then Richard Eastman.
Good evening. I've been a resident of West Hollywood for half my life. I've been a parishioner at St. Victor's about that time. I'm hoping the city can help regulate condo associations. I'm living in condo hell right now. I'm 81 years old, an Army veteran, living in a long paid off condo in West Hollywood. 2 years ago, a water pipe broke on the 3rd floor of our building. I live on the 1st floor. It ruined one of my bathrooms and one of my bedrooms. Association made me pay for all repairs. Not my fault. Water came from the 3rd floor. Before I could get everything back together, another leak earlier this year. Each time it's taken them over 6 months to repair it. In addition to my room being demolished, my model railroad was destroyed by their workmen. Just I was but nobody knows where these floods come from sometimes, the second one especially. I've also have a deeded parking space that's too narrow. Storage unit was built into it. Didn't appear on the plans because I looked at the plans. The city ordered it to be removed. I waited for over a year, not removed. All of a sudden, they found a part of the plan that says, oh yeah, we built this legally.
Michael, your time has expired, but I think we have...
I'm hoping that the city can pass some, like we have rent control, we can have these dictators there is.
I think, Andy, in the back, if you could get Mr. Dunn's address so we can have somebody reach out to see how we can assist. All right. And Andy is in the back. If you can see her, she's raising her hand. We'll try to get your address. Thank you. Ali Shahidi to be followed by Richard Eastman and then Anita Goswami.
Ali Shahidi, West Hollywood. On October 7, 2025, 3 members of the City Council appointed Mark Edwards to the West Hollywood Planning Commission without due process. Chelsea, Danny, and Erickson. Edwards was the public affairs strategist for LA Mayor Karen Bass and is part of the city's corrupt political regime without any real connections to West Hollywood. Earlier this year, in this very room, Mark Edwards, as the appointed member of WeHo Planning Commission, said, quote, WeHo West and Norma Triangle residents only account for less than 0.001% of the votes, and therefore, their votes do not matter. I appeared in front of you and in front of the Planning Commission after he made such an ignorant and misinformed comment to ask you and ask him to clarify, correct, and apologize for a stupid and ignorant comment. He did not clarify, correct, or apologize. Instead, he showed up 2 weeks ago to the National Nights Out in West Hollywood West, the same neighborhood whose votes do not matter to him. He denied he ever said it, despite him being on the record. He then verbally harassed and attacked me. He does not welcome our votes. He is certainly not welcome in West Hollywood West, and particularly in our city. To those of you in the city council who appointed him into this role without appropriate due process, you are complacent, and you are certainly not welcome here anymore.
Richard, thank you, Ali. Richard Eastman to be followed by Anita Goswami.
Well, howdy, city of West Hollywood, Mayor Holloman. 30 years ago, I got off a plane from London, England, and I sent you and Chelsea and Danny to Amsterdam and to Berlin, And I want to thank Woody Harrelson and Jay of the Emerald Cup Association for making 5,000 posters of a guy that almost died 30 years ago when Dennis Perone asked you to let me open a cannabis buyers club in West Hollywood. So, tonight, I asked you I could ride a horse in Gay Pride Parade, and I saw other people wearing a cowboy hat. And when I rode into this town in 1965, a lot of you weren't alive. And a lot of people in the government don't even know how old I really am, because I did work with Senator John F. Kennedy 6 years prior in 1959 in San Francisco. And this picture of me says I almost gave up life. AIDS, healthcare at Frontiers magazine. And Scotty had an idea, and somebody paid for it. And I'm not upset that you didn't take me to Berlin, where the terrorists ran over that lady, and none of you were hurt. And the Queen of the Netherlands saw this picture plastered on the bathhouses, the bar rooms, wherever you put them up. Because without the billboards and the Sunset Strip rock and roll clubs and the Magdalene family and all the people of Javier Becerra for governor and Nithya Raman for mayor, I'm not running for anything. And every night I give out marijuana on the streets of LA County, 88 cities. I want to thank you, John, for making me a global ambassador 30 years ago when everybody thought I'd be dead. Dennis Perone's dead, Scott Imler's dead, and you're not dead. Vice Mayor, Mayor, Lauren, Erickson, Senator, Chelsea. 3 winners, 7 losers. And me, I always win. God bless America. God bless West Hollywood.
Thank you, Richard. Anita Goswami to be followed by Stephen Post, and that will be our last speaker tonight.
Hi there. There we go. I'm Anita Goswami. I'm a longtime resident of West Hollywood. Two topics. One of them, public safety is the foundation for civic government. We're not alone in our world here, so working with other agencies is critical as criminals cross multiple city boundaries in minutes. Video surveillance has been an increasing part of evidence, whether it's a phone video that I see on Instagram later or on Ring, cameras in parking lots, cameras at traffic lights, or other safety cameras. I want to applaud Captain Lapkin and our public safety team for implementing super tight data controls on the flock servers. These were described explicitly here in Public Safety Commission meetings, and I believe they were described for City Council as well, but specifically ensuring data is not shared with other agencies, that it was kept locally. I appreciate our West Hollywood sheriffs respecting and keeping our privacy while protecting us. I don't think that message is necessarily made visible much, but I think that's just something I really appreciate for them. One other item on a separate topic, I was in Amsterdam last winter, where some of you went this summer. While I was there, just kind of walking along, I noticed that they have at their crosswalks push buttons, not just for the people who are walking, like me, because that's what I was doing, but they have push buttons and they have lights at bicycle level. So it's at that level where, not where vehicles necessarily would be, but at lower levels. So just something to consider as well too. I'm against the bike lanes on Fountain. They don't work, but I do think simple things like this might help bicyclists and all of us overall for safety. Thank you.
Thank you. Stephen Post, and that's our last speaker.
Hi, thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. Stephen Post, candidate for West Hollywood City Council. Mainly up here to offer gratitude, especially to Melissa and Lulu in the clerk's office for making the filing process so smooth for all of us candidates. I also want to give a shout out to Wendy Goldman and Beaches Tropicana for a successful forum this past weekend. I especially want to give a special shout out to those who spoke tonight against Flock. We really appreciate you raising your voices, and we support the call to end the contract. At the same time, we also want to thank our public safety partners for a successful NNO block party. And lastly, I want to thank the residents for their patience. The one question I did have that I hope we can get answered that I've received from a lot of residents recently is, when is the Plummer Park Dog Park going to be opened? The gates have still been up for quite a while and have just been receiving a lot of questions about that. So thank you.
Thank you. That's our last speaker. We'll now turn to council member comments. Anyone want to begin tonight? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayor. Thank you to all the members of the public that came out tonight. Additionally, I want to just quickly comment, Helen has that magical opening date, Stephen. It should hopefully be in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So let's figure it out. So maybe we can put that out there, but I too would love the dog park. I have a couple of things. I attended a number of city events, the Equality California LGBTQ Leader Summit, the second annual Beaches Tropicana event, Contract Cities Executive Board and board member meetings, and especially yesterday's Route 66 Centennial event. I thought it was really well done. I wore my Route 66 pin all over the place. I've already been asked where they can get one, so thank you, Laura, to the entire team for putting that together. It was an amazing day. I don't get the fascination with cars. I'm never that person. Like, I am from Wisconsin, and so like cars are there to like get you through the snow and like not rust within 5 to 7 years, frankly, with all the salt, but like, sure, like it was great. There was a sparkle car. I think I saw the gayest car known to man out there, but it fitted West Hollywood, so I really know it put in a lot of great work, and so I want to thank staff for doing that. Additionally, I have a number of comments around a couple of updates. Homelessness. Good news, street homelessness is down in West Hollywood by 54%. Street encampments are down by 73%. And I really want to thank not only our social service providers from the Holloway Motel and Essentia, but everyone else from Healthcare in Action, who are really showing that a program that then Councilmember Shine and I brought forward through WeHo Cares, which is now fully funded, but the Holloway Interim Housing Program, after 10 months, going strong, is really seeing a lot of great successes. And so I wanted to call out that number because I think that is extremely important as we see numbers in LA County continue to raise or grow, sadly, but our programs here in Santa Monica, across the region, in our West Side cities, Santa Monica, West Hollywood, people that have programs, Culver City, people that have programs like this, it's actually working. I do want to make a comment on Alex Pereira Alves. I want to thank city staff who have worked really diligently, as well as the mayor, who's worked hard to already connect him with these services. He is currently being held in the Adelanto Detention Center. ICE detained this longtime West Hollywood resident this week during what he expected to be a routine immigration check, and these thugs in plain clothing, or whatever they want to say, took him within minutes, from my understanding, and now he faces deportation to a country he has no connection to. And I want to say that he is home here, and this is his home, and I hope we can do all that we can to connect him with legal services. I know the city is issuing a statement, or has issued a statement, but the work that we can continue to do to get ICE out of our community, to defund ICE in every way, shape, and form, and to hold those perpetrators who joined to make a quick buck, to round up immigrants and other individuals who are in this country legally, for whatever mega fascination they have, is disgusting. And it is also disgusting to see how they continue to be exploited, and those that need a voice in this community have one. And I want to thank the mayor again, I've said it twice, but for going above and beyond, and for the city to do it. So that needs to be continued to be monitored, if we could continue to get updates on that. I also want to say that it's the 17th, but 2 days ago, Ivy Bottini would have turned 100 years old. She was a fearless leader and an influential activist. And if you've been to my office at City Hall, which is now just, frankly, a hoarder's paradise with everything that's there, she has I have a big picture of her in the back of my window that everyone can see, that was there, that was taken by my dear friend Barbara Grover. But she is a founding member of the National Organization for Women, and she pushed the organization to recognize lesbian rights as an integral part of feminism, and later was a driving force of LGBTQ equality here. She herself was a rabble-rouser and created a lot of good trouble. I believe John Duran kicked her out of a council meeting in this room, something that I think people should remember come November. But additionally, her bold spirit, artistic creativity, and unshakable commitment to human rights just challenged everything that we need her. And I thought about her a lot today. And I've been thinking about her a lot and what she would be thinking of where we're going, who we are, and what we have to do. But her legacy remains as a cornerstone in the progressive champions that are elected to the city council and people that stand for something and not against someone. That means a lot these days. Additionally, I want to congratulate Rob Romero. He didn't know I was doing this, but he's been selected for a position as a human resources specialist. Rob was one of the first people I met when I was at the City of West Hollywood. When I got there, he's been there as a steadfast individual and partner for so many community members and residents, walking his dog Gabe down Santa Monica Boulevard. But he is an incredible individual. The city is so lucky to have him. Congratulations on your much-deserved promotion, Rob. We love you all very much. Additionally, it is also not lost on me that in sharing the comments about Alex, that a member of the public who has left already just told me I was not welcome in my city. He told a black planning commissioner he was not welcome in his neighborhood. He told a woman she wasn't welcome here. He told our first AAPI council member he was not welcome here, something that someone else did many years ago when they questioned whether or not you were imported to run for city council. But they also, I believe a seemingly straight man, questioned a gay guy if he should be welcome here. And it's not lost upon me that in a time when people are being swept away and kidnapped by so many people and an authoritarian force, that we see that here in our borders. And I'm reminded of a statement in my good Catholic nature with my dear friend JP in the room of Matthew 25:35. I was a stranger and you welcomed me. And I'm just wondering, isn't that the motto of who we are in West Hollywood? We're a place where people come because this place matters so much more. I turned my life upside down when I got this internship, and I wanted to be a professor. I never wanted to be a politician, ever. It's like not the least thing I ever wanted to do. But I found a city that I deeply loved, and many people currently in the audience are not, because they leave to go home and amongst their $1 million homes or whatever they have, which is great, good for them, are telling members of color, gay people, you're not welcome here. Well, I want to make sure we reiterate that you are welcome here. This is a home where people welcome everyone. This is a home where we disagree. West Hollywood is 34,000 people with 500,000 or more opinions, but we battle each other in rhetoric, but we never battle each other by kicking them out of our borders. And to say I'm disgusted by that comment would be an understatement. That comment does not belong in our city. I would still welcome that individual in our city because that's who we are, because this is also his home. But to ever say someone is not welcome in the city because someone that you disagree with on a comment that you didn't like, and that person happens to be black or a person of color or LGBTQ, is shameful. And I hope that individual hears this, remembers it, and I'll see you at the next council meeting where I'm sure you and your family will make a sign that says John Erickson out of West Hollywood or something like that. But bring it on, because I'm here to make sure the next generation of the city is welcomed and this is their home. Thank you very much, Mayor.
Sure. I will begin with my attendance for meetings of record. I attended the Westside Cities Council of Government, the La Casa Renter Protection and Homelessness Prevention Subcommittee, the Clean Power Alliance Energy Committee, and SCAG's RENA Subcommittee, which officially kicked off. Also, was really happy to be a part of the city's delegation to Amsterdam for World Pride. It was truly a remarkable experience. I believe we were the only city from the United States represented in the World Pride celebration, so that's back-to-back years for our city, and we should be really proud of that, especially with international tourism down, to be connected to this global community, to remind them that the city is here for them. Thank you, Richard. I want to thank Out Loud for making that partnership possible. It was really their leadership and connection and community that allowed West Hollywood Pride and the city of West Hollywood to have place on that float. And then I want to also thank Emerald Village. They were able to make the cannabis community that is so essential to West Hollywood feel present in Amsterdam among World Pride, and that's really special. So thank you, Scott Schmidt, thank you, Jeff Consoletti, and thanks to the city staff who were a part of that delegation as well for keeping everything on track. Visit West Hollywood was really incredible in leading a bunch of media interviews for us as well. So that work has reach, and I think it has real impact too. So it was a real honor to be a part of that with the vice mayor and the mayor, and just want to thank everyone. Also want to really appreciate, it's been a summer of really wonderful events, and we're not done yet. It's a month left of summer, but some really special ones wrapped up. Summer Sounds, just want to thank the Arts Division for a really incredible series of those concerts. How special that it could cap off the Route 66 Centennial celebration that day, which just felt like the park was exploding with energy. Also want to shout out the Russian Library exhibit, which you can still see at Great Hall, Long Hall until October. And then, of course, thank everyone in the community for your hand in making National Night Out the celebration of community that it is. And then just lastly, want to thank staff and all the community partners, the Williams Institute, the LGBT Center, and of course, the District Attorney Nathan Hochman for making his presence here in West Hollywood felt. At the end of July, we had a town hall here with his office, something that I think is really important, that the DA's office is connected to West Hollywood and has a relationship with us. So I was really grateful that he was able to make that happen along with all of our city staff. That's all for me. We'll see us back at the end of August. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Attended National Night Out, got to all of them, and I want to thank all of the block captains and neighborhood association people who organized it, put it together, and made it a success, as they always do every year, and thank staff for helping out as well on that, and all of our street closures, et cetera. And let's make sure we got those postcards, though, next year. People do rely on them to remind them of where something is taking place and where they have to move their cars, if they have to move their cars. I also attended an intimate dinner at Project Angel Food with a number of different women, including Laura Friedman, our assembly member, and Congresswoman, I'm sorry, and also made it to the Route 66 Charles Phoenix Presents the presentation, which was excellent. If you're a historic preservation fan, or even just a car fan, or just a fan of old LA, it was a really great presentation, really enjoyable, and an incredible turnout. So that was just, it was really great to see. I attended the WeHo Candidates Forum at Beaches Tropicana, and appreciate Wendy Goldman and all those who helped organize that. And I did go to the town hall with LA County DA Hochman. I was there for the beginning. I personally want to apologize to him. I left when all of a sudden the audience didn't want to have a conversation. All they wanted to do was yell at him. I felt for him. I thought that it was really amazing that he stayed for that. But what could have been a productive conversation turned into, and excuse my French, a shit show. And so again, as a council member here in the city of West Hollywood, I would like to apologize for LA County DA Hochman for having to go through that. And I don't think that that's for us to invite a public official to our city and to allow that to happen is just, it's just not right. I'm sure that all of you would not enjoy that if you were invited somewhere to speak and to have a conversation. And that is all for me. Thank you.
Merci. Vice Mayor Hang.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll start with my meetings and attendance. I attended the National Night Out. The day ended at Elise Eisenberg's party, lots of tacos, lots of good conversation. I also attended World Pride in Amsterdam. Our mayor was the belle of the ball at a panel discussion, and it was very productive, and he represented West Hollywood very well. Councilmember Byers and I got to participate on the parade float that actually said WeHo on there, so we were represented on the world stage at World Pride. And I had to use a restroom on the boat. It involved a lot of crawling, which was not fun at all. I attended Route 66, the 100th anniversary celebration. I attended the 90th birthday celebration for the log cabin, Beaches Tropicana second anniversary event. I attended a meeting with our economic development staff and Visit West Hollywood with another foreign consulate, as our city is working very hard and very diligently to entice foreign governments to have hospitality houses here for the Olympics, because we want West Hollywood to be the main basin for the Olympics. And as a sneak peek so far, I have done outreach to over 30 consulates internationally, and that is still continuing. We've already met with 3 consulates in person, and we have other meetings that are scheduled out with about 5 or 6 additional consulates. So as this work progresses, we are hoping to make West Hollywood the place to be for the LA 28 games, because there's no better place to party for the Olympics than in West Hollywood. And I want to keep in mind all of the victims in Colombia and Indonesia with these mass earthquakes that have been happening as of recently. And I'll close with, I've always supported organized labor, with my own father being a diehard union member, as a member of the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers, Local 725. And I believe every worker deserves a meaningful voice on the job. At the same time, I've received calls and have heard concerns from several WeHo members, and I believe any step that could affect our bargaining unit deserves thoughtful discussion and meaningful consultation with our current represented employees. My priority is protecting workers' voice while ensuring that we strengthen, not divide, our workforce and our city. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. I also attended World Pride in Amsterdam with the Vice Mayor and Councilmember Byers. We conducted a number of interviews. We had a panel discussion, and I would say, along with Out Loud and our city staff, the Vice Mayor and Councilmember Byers represented us well, and it was a very successful trip. I attended National Night Out, attended the Ad Hoc Rent Control Subcommittee, attended the Route 66 events at Plummer Park. I want to thank staff for organizing them. I also attended the Russian Library art exhibit at Plummer Park. It was also well attended. I got to attend and welcome the crowd to Summer Sounds at Plummer Park. And I recently cut the ribbon for 2 new businesses in West Hollywood, Drink It and D-Town Pizzeria, which has actually been there for a while. I want to give a shout out and a thank you to our Vice Mayor, who has really taken the lead in bringing and setting up meetings with foreign consulates. I do want to report that in addition to the meetings, we already have several hotels that have been completely bought out for the Olympics, and that's just going to be more revenue for us here in the city of West Hollywood. And with that, we are now adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for your patience tonight.